Justice with Judge Mablean will be life, because in everything we do, it involves the law. You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Shelley Nellie Jordan is suing Olivia McKeithen in the amount of $700. Ms. Jordan claims Ms. McKeithen pawned her off to a junior stylist who gave her a bad hair weave. Ms. McKeithen claims Ms. Jordan showed up for an emergency fix, and the only way she could accommodate the plaintiff was to have a new stylist do the prep.
Shelley Jordan versus Olivia McKeithen?
McKeithen.
And you're suing for what we call a bad hair weave, huh?
Yes, Your Honor.
You said that the defendant's hairstylist did a terrible job on your hair, and you want them to pay you $700.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me what happened.
She's been doing my hair ever since I was younger. You know, I had to go to a funeral, and she was booked the day before, but I texted her to let her know I need a rush situation. I need my hair done. And she said that she was booked. So knowing that she's like a sister to me, I just walked in the next day and she said, okay, well, I'm booked right now, and that, you know, I can have my junior assistant start you off by washing my hair, blow drying it, conditioning, you know, the usual, and then braid it up in a beehive.
So you called her the night before for an appointment the next day for a full hair weave?
Yes, Your Honor.
Long like that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So she asked, and that's about a 3-4 hour job, right?
Yes.
Minimum.
Minimum, yes.
Mm-hmm. So she asked the assistant to get started to wash your hair,
right,
condition it, braid it, and get it ready.
Yes.
What'd you say then?
I said okay. As soon as, you know, he started, I thought it was pretty good. I did think it was pretty good. But it turned around and, like, for her, she has to sew in my weave because he's not licensed to sew my weave in. She is. We did that, and then turned around, she sewed it in. It didn't take that long, but it was long enough to where it ran into my train time.
Ran into your what?
My train time, because I was supposed to go on a train to go to D.C.
So not only did you come in for the same day, you came in with a specific time frame.
Yes, Your Honor.
How much time did you have?
About 5.5 hours.
And how far were you? How much time did it take to get to the train?
About 25 minutes.
So you had about 5 hours.
Right.
Really? Okay. So now your sister start sewing in the weave. What happened?
So she starts sewing in the weave, and it came out.
I don't mean your sister, like a sister.
Like a sister, right. Mm-hmm. She starts sewing in my weave, and she finishes. So after that, I leave to go catch the train. I immediately go on a train. I wrap my hair up. I go to sleep, because it's a 14-hour ride from where I'm coming from to where I'm going. So I fell asleep, woke up the next morning. My head was pounding as if someone was dragging me around by my head, and it was hurting so bad. I called her and said that, okay, I think your assistant did my hair a little too tight. Like
braided it too tight.
Braided it too tight. It hurts so badly. I explained to her, yeah, it was a 14-hour ride. You know, I slept sitting up against the window because I don't want to lay down. And then from there, she was like, just take an aspirin. It's probably because of the stress or the train ride or your scarf being too tight. So I did take an aspirin, then went to the funeral. My head was pounding very bad at the funeral, that I was crying really hard. So what I did was, my sister was in town, and from there she referred me to somebody that was in DC. So from there, the lady said that she seen, like, you know, my edges was coming. You can see my edges being pulled back. My closure piece was lifting up. So it just looked really bad, like nobody even done anything to it. I've never had this problem with her as how many years I've been going to her.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
She's making accusations saying that it was too tight. So obviously she always checks my work before and after I get done touching a client, and she approved of my work.
And later,
she called me for another vehicle. As I was approaching that other vehicle, I saw this truck that was, in a visitor parking lot, and I didn't see a decal. So I did a double check, and I let her know about it, and she told me to tell her that as well.
Justice with Judge Mablean. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Shelly Nellie Jordan, who is suing Olivia McKeithen for $700.
So what happened?
I got it re-braided into a beehive, re-sewn in to a
Well, you had to get it taken out first.
Right. So I got it taken out. This was what she did. Your Honor, this is what she did.
I don't need to see that. You told me what y'all know what a weave is and how it's done.
So from there, I got it redone.
You had to pay this other lady to do it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Get to the point.
Yes, I did.
What'd you pay the other lady?
I paid the other lady $325.
And so you want the $325 that you paid her plus the money you paid your the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's how we get to $700?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Talk to me.
She had texted me the night before, that Friday night, texted me that she needed an appointment for the next day. I told her I was all booked
So
up.
everything she said was true? She was all booked up, you couldn't do it, she walked in, you gave it to the junior stylist, right?
Correct.
Okay, so now what?
Okay, so
Maybe I need to talk to the junior stylist.
Okay.
Come on up, junior stylist. Because these two ladies having a hard time communicating with me.
As you can see, she's lying.
I can see that?
She is,
I
Your
don't see
Honor.
lying.
You can't see lying, but she's, Your Honor. When she came into the office, peaceful as usual before she enters. The loud, obnoxious Shelly Nellie. She always enters loud, abrupt, very rude.
Obnoxious.
She always,
Very rude, Your
I'm
Honor.
always obnoxious.
Well, I tell you what, you're being rude now.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Your Honor, she...
Being rude now.
in order to get to my salon, you have to go through a barbershop. And she just come in, just rushing in, not saying hi to anyone, and just
Why
being
you couldn't
rude.
talk when I was talking to you? When he starts talking, you remember all this. So I don't need both of you to tell me. I like the way he talks better. I'm going to let him tell me.
Well, Your Honor, she came into the store, as usual, loud, obnoxious, even offending customers, rude. I got to get my hair done. I got to go. All this other stuff. As you can tell in that picture, Your Honor, she's smiling. That's after we did her hair. I do take the photos as well, working in the salon. I've been working for Olivia for 2 years and also going to school to get my cosmetology license. I got it.
I only have the before picture.
Here you
Right
go.
here.
It's right
Oh.
here, Your Honor.
What did you do to her hair?
Well, Your Honor, her hair is not the easiest hair to work with, first off. So I had to get some hot water, hot towel, pat it down, get it loose, comb it out, which took me a good 15, 20 minutes, to be honest. Then, of course, I had to wash it, dry it, and then I braided it into a beehive.
All right. And that took you about, what, 2 hours?
About
The whole process?
About an hour and 45 minutes, you can
Okay.
say.
All right.
So after braiding it, first of all, she's making accusations saying that it was too tight. The way Olivia taught me, the way I was trained, not to make it too tight, but just enough so it can be easy to sew in, because you don't want to damage the scalp. So obviously, she always checks my work before and after I get done touching a client, and she approved of my work. So she did the beehive, and she sewed it up, and then she
So
went on
you
about her
did
business.
to the beehive phase, and then she did the sewing. Ms.
That is
McCree.
correct.
Okay, so your work is ended. Sit down.
Yes, ma'am.
Now back to you. You're sewing the weave in. Any
Before-
complaints?
No complaints at all.
Did she tell you it's too tight?
Nope. As I was sewing it in, before I even sewed it in, I always check his work. It was perfect, a mirror of my own work. I've been doing her hair since I was 13. I knew exactly.
Is this
if it
you
looked
smiling
too tight.
and looking pretty?
Yes.
The picture that he took.
Afterwards.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, did she tell you anything was wrong with it? Did she tell you it's too clunky in the top, the beehive's too high? Did she complain about anything while you were sewing her hair in?
Not one complaint.
Okay. Okay, so now, sewing process is just like you sewing a piece of clothing, right? You stick the needle through the hair, and you pull the thread through, right?
Correct.
And you just keep on doing that going around, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Hurts, right? Gives you a headache when it's first done. Mm-hmm. This wasn't your first day at the rodeo. You've had your hair weaved before.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You know you have a headache after your hair is weaved.
But not this bad of a headache, Your Honor. It was 10 times
You
worse.
compound your hair weaving, the stress of rushing, the death of your grandmother, tying a scarf around your head as soon as you get it done, sleeping on a train with your head like this to one side. Add all of those factors together, headache.
Yeah.
You know that woman didn't do anything wrong with your hair. Please, judgment for the defendant.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
The judge set you straight. I can't believe you brought me in here for a bad weave.
You know he jacked my head up, but you don't have to ever worry about me ever coming to your salon ever again.
Coming up.
She called me for another vehicle. As I was approaching that other vehicle, I saw this truck that was, in a visitor parking lot, and I didn't see a decal. So I did a double check, and I let her know about it, and she told me to tell her that as well.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Carl Kim is suing Jake Moore in the amount of $1,098.50. Mr. Kim claims Mr. Moore towed his car from his apartment complex without just cause. Mr. Moore claims the parking regulations are clearly marked, and he only towed the plaintiff's car after he got a call from security.
This is a matter of Carl Kim versus Jake Moore. And Mr. Kim, you're suing Mr. Moore because he had your car towed, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you don't think that was right?
Yes, because my car was parked legally and my car was towed. So
Okay, so tell me the circumstances if your car was parked illegally and this tow truck driver towed your car.
well, Friday night I finished my 16-hour shift. We had a long day, so me and my coworkers went to get a couple of beers. After we came back, since my friend Ray was tired and he wanted to stay over, I had him park his car. But since the visitors parking lot, they were going to tow the cars at 11:59 p.m., I went over to the security guard and told him that my friend is going to stay over. So we both spoke about it, and the security guard told me it was going to be okay. So I put my parking pass in his car, and then...
And where did he park the car?
We went over this with the security guard, and he parked his car in my parking lot. And then
In your space?
In my space. And then I parked my car in the visitor's parking space.
But you were staying overnight?
Yes.
In the visitor's parking space, you have to be out of there by 11:59?
11:59.
But you're saying the security guard for the complex allowed you to do it and said it was okay?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So if it was okay, then why did you have to put your car in visitors parking?
I just thought he could park in my space, and then I would park in the visitor space. Then I wake up next morning to run some errands. I go to the parking lot. I can't find my car. So I was looking around, and then I couldn't find my car, so I went to the security guard's stand, and they told me that my car was towed.
Same security guard as the night before?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So which security guard did you speak to that told you it was okay?
I spoke to Trey. That was
And
there
where is
last
Trey
night.
now?
He's not here.
So who are you suing, the tow truck company?
Yes, the tow truck company.
Why are you suing him?
Because obviously I went over it with the security guards, and they said it was going to be okay, but still my car was towed.
Okay, tow truck company, tell me your side of the story.
Well, about 6 months ago, a new bar opened up across from the complex at Trinity Hills Complex, and I already had an 8-year contract with them. So they sent out an email, and I have that, Your Honor, saying that pretty much a lot of people that goes to the bar are parking over there, and they're taking up all the spaces illegally. So they're going to crack down, and everybody had to have a decal. So this particular night, around 11:59, I was in the area. So they gave me the information, and I was in the area, and the security guard right here, my witness, she called me for another vehicle. As I was approaching that other vehicle, I saw this truck that was, in a visitor parking lot, and I didn't see a decal. So I did a double check, and I let her know about it, and she told me to tell her that as well.
Coming up.
On the night in questioning, this Mr. Kim, he had his car parked in a visitor parking space and we didn't see a decal.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Carl Kim, who is suing Jake Moore for $1,098.50.
How much you get per car?
Well, it's $122.50 for the initial hour, then $61 every half an hour after that.
$61 every half hour?
Yeah, I mean.
After you tow?
I mean, it's California law. I mean, I'm not making.
Wait. You tow somebody's car.
Yes.
It's $122.50.
Yes, for the first hour.
And so every half hour thereafter that the car is in your tow yard is $61?
Yes, ma'am.
Good God from glory. What do you have to say, ma'am?
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Stacy.
Stacy what?
Stacy Pointer.
Okay, Miss Portner, what do you have to say?
Well, I am a security guard at Trinity Hills. I've been working there for about 4 years now. And on the night in questioning, this Mr. Kim, he had his car parked in a visitor parking space and we didn't see a decal.
Were you the one on duty the night before that told him he could park there and it would be okay?
No, that was another security guard named Trey.
Did you ever have a conversation with Trey to confirm whether it was true or not true?
After the shift, he didn't tell me anything about it. He didn't leave a note.
Oh, so you replaced Trey that night?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's where this $1,098.50 come in from?
Yes, ma'am.
So why are you suing the tow truck company? Why did you sue the apartment complex?
I went over it with the security guard, and still, they towed my car. I mean, the security guard should have left a note or something, but still, they have my apartment suite number, my personal information, my license plate number, and everything, and still
So
they
they
took
should
my
have
car.
looked it up to make sure that you were one of the tenants.
Before towing my car.
Really?
I mean, because I lived there,
You have a decal you're supposed to have in your car.
but it was in my friend's car.
Right, because you wanted to play a trick and let your friend park.
But since I was a resident, I thought I was going to be okay in the visitors parking lot.
Oh.
And we spoke
Are
about.
you a visitor?
No, ma'am.
You tried to play a little game on the complex.
No, I didn't.
Y'all
try
pretend to be the visitor, and I'm gonna let him stay in my space, and then that way, since they know I live here, they won't tow me. But it backfired on you.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
So you know who you should be asking to pay you this money? Your friend, who you let stay overnight, share the blame, but you've sued the wrong defendant. If anyone is guilty of it, it would be the apartment complex owner or management, not the tow truck driver. He simply follows orders. They call him and say, hey, come tow this car. So judgment for the defendant.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I will take the judge's advice and go after the apartment complex, but I still think you were wrong for towing my car.
The judge's decision was right. If you wasn't playing parking lot games, you never would have been towed.
This has been a production of Entertainment